Let's see. All right, so I jumped on here just because it's Saturday. It does not mean people are not still focused on their career. They're still not thinking about their Monday. Someone has an interview coming up and they're looking to see how to prepare for it. Well, I've prepared a few questions that you ask that person that's interviewing you. All right, so I'm gonna jump right in so I can get it done because it's 1 o'clock on the East Coast. I'm in Arizona, which is the West Coast, so it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 a.m. We're just getting started. So the first one, you'll want to ask your interviewer about the job. Oh, pause, hold on. My iPad sitting in the sun, and now it has to cool down, and I'm just going to record. I don't like that. So about the job. So first, you want to make sure that you have a handle on exactly what the day-to-day responsibilities of the job will be, both now and in the future. So here's a good question to ask your interviewer. What does a typical day look like in this role? You want to know that because you want to know what you're getting yourself into. You want to know what to prepare for. You want to know how this may align with whether you want to do it or not. Question number 2, what are the skills and experiences you're looking for in an ideal candidate? You want to know, what are you in the ballpark? Can you actually land this job? And what skills you may need to enhance, you may need to study for once you come out of this interview to prepare for the role. Number 3, you'll want to ask them, what are the biggest challenges for someone in this position that I would face? Because you want to know, again, what you're getting yourself into, what to prepare for. And then, so let's move on to training and personal development. So I have 3 questions here. 1, are the opportunities for advancement or personal development here? How can I move up? How would I be able to move up? How would I be able to gain more skills while I'm in this role? If I wanted to become a manager, if I wanted to become a supervisor, if I wanted to become a team lead, how can I do that? How can I grow while I'm in this role? Next would be, where is the last person who held this job moving on to? Are they still moving on within this company? Did they find another company where they were able to level up even more? That means that they still gain skills from this role that they're able to use somewhere else. And you want to know if that's possible, if you can win the same way as well. So next, where have successful employees previously in this position progressed to? Is anyone team leads? Are they managers? Did they move on to another role using the skills that they learned here? How long did it take for them to move on? Is this an entry-level role? Or will I be able to move up in this particular department? Those are different questions that you would like to ask because you want to know that information. Next, you want to know about your performance. How is your performance measured? You want to make sure you're setting yourself up for success by learning up front the goals of the position and how your work will be evaluated. So, good question is, what are the most important things you would like to see someone accomplish in the first 30, 60, and 90 days on this job? And I speak highly into this because going into a new role, you already can go in there with a leg up with your 30, 60, and 90-day plan. Everyone should create a 30, 60, and 90-day plan going into a job. And then even so, annually for your current role, you should have a 30, 60, and 90-day plan. This is what I plan to do in 30 days. This is what I plan to do in 60 days. And this is what I plan to do in 90 days. That sets you up for success no matter what. So next good question would be, what is the performance review process like here? How often do I formally be reviewed? Normally, companies do annual reviews, and some companies do monthly reviews. It's good to always do frequent reviews because, number one, the company and the team lead and the managers need to hear back from you, the employee, the one that's working. They need to know what's going on in the culture. They need to know what's working and what's not working. They need to know how to plan ahead and in the future, period. Next, you want to ask, now this one here, these are questions for the interviewer, the person themselves. You're asking the interviewer to show you that you're interested in him or her as a person. And that's a great way to build rapport. So you'll ask them, how has your role changed since you've been here in this position? If you're a supervisor, how has it changed? If, what do the people look for from you? How many people under you have been promoted or become leaders? You want to know how good of a leader they are. Next, what's your favorite part about working here? Because I need to know, do you even like working here? Can you give it to me off the top of your head to make me feel like, oh, this is a good fit for me? That'd be amazing. Next, we have questions about the company. Because you're not just working for one boss or one department, you're working for the company as a whole. So you want to get some good questions here. So you want to know, where do you see this company in the next few years? They're going to ask you the question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? What are your 5-year goals? So you ask them, where do you see the company in the next 5 years? Do we see this company plummeting? Or do we see this company growing? Do we see it moving into the next phase of life? I mean, you got the metaverse coming, you got this and that and the third. How would this company be evolving as well? And then, so we're gonna move on to last and final. Before you are done with your interview, let's ask about the next steps. So before you leave, you want to make sure the interviewer has all the information he or she needs, and that you're clear on the next steps by asking these questions. Number 1, is there anything that concerns you about my background or in my resume about being a fit for this role? Is it anything to make you feel like, they got this, or I mean, you have this skill, I love it. You know how to do this, oh yeah, you're gonna be a winner. Or it's like, I don't know, we're gonna keep interviewing and you like the last result. I need to know, is it anything that you're lacking, anything that I'm lacking that you need? That helps you, whether you're like, oh, I'm gonna get another interview, or you're like, dang, I don't know about this role. I don't know if I'm actually get it. I'm gonna move my phone up because it's sitting in the sun. And I think all my electronics now is overheating. So that's one. The next question you'll like to know, what are the next steps in the interview process? Will I be interviewing with another manager? Will I have 2 more interviews? Will I know something by the end of this week or next week? You want to know what your next steps are. And finally, you'll like to know, is there anything else I can provide you that will be helpful? Because you don't want them to have to keep calling you or figuring it out. And then ultimately they turn and say that, they pick somebody else because it was something they didn't know. They didn't clarify it. And then they just went with somebody else. You don't want any obstacles, anything hindering you from landing the job, period. So you want to make sure that you combat all of that and you get all of